Superman's grandfather, not his father, so we can tell that story instead.
I think for some of the reasons we've talked about, removing it that generation, it's just a less familiar character. I think we're very conscious of the audience, of not wanting the audience to feel like we're just treading water here and waiting for the planet to explode. And most people who know Krypton and know the character of Jor-El will sort of associate it with that. So we just don't want people thinking like there's this sense of inevitability about the way this is all going to end. But we don't know what happened to Superman's grandfather. That's just not something that people know about. So there's a freedom in that, and it helps again just create a little more distance to what has traditionally been the end of the Krypton story, but it's no longer that way with this series. Yeah.
We saw in the pilot that the Zods are already a major part of the show. So are we going to see kind of how that dynamic?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to me to when in a lot of ways the series is just about as much about the House of Zod as it is about the House of El. There's a kind of almost almost Shakespearean kind of these two like Romeo and Juliet kind of thing with these houses and the relationship between Seg and Lyda. When you see them together, it's hard to imagine how did things go so wrong, that like what's going to happen here that creates that enmity between the houses, or will that happen now that the timeline has changed, but yeah, the Zods are, there's like if we sort of talk about Krypton to people, there are a few things that you could associate with them, and one of them is the House of Zod. So it was obviously a natural fit to explore that.
What made you go with Brainiac as the number one villain this season rather than like Doomsday?
Yeah, again, well, Doomsday is actually in the first season as well. But look, I think Brainiac is another character that we haven't really seen before. Not to the extent I don't think we're doing in live action anyway. And he's the perfect fit for the show. Again, it's not an earthbound. These are not street level kind of heroes, and Brainiac is such a high concept character. It needs a kind of a big high concept show for that. I think for that character to kind of like to feel organic to it, and Brainiac really does. And of course, the other thing is that most people who know anything about Krypton from the comics will know that Brainiac comes for Kandor. It's part of canon. It has been for I don't know, since forever that I know of. I can't remember when that first story was, but so yeah, it was a natural fit for that reason, and I think judging by the response so far, I think people are happy about it.
What are some of the challenges you find in bringing this character, making it your own?
I mean, for me, Nyssa was never on a comic book page, I mean, you know that. So it was a challenge because it was hard for me to do research on Nyssa, because obviously you want to do the fans justice. But it kind of also gave me that freedom of being able to, make choices for Nyssa and explore who she is and actually make decisions myself that I thought would, complement the storyline and add on and twist and turn. But I mean, there were definitely challenges making her come to life, for sure. But it was so exciting, us all being able to make these characters come to life together, and we really do evolve together as a bunch of characters. It was fun. I feel so honoured.
How would you describe Nyssa's relationship with Seg-El?
So right now for Nyssa, it's strictly business. I mean, I think she kind of, I've said before, but she definitely sees him as a commodity, and she's got an agenda, and I think she maybe sees him as a bit of a game piece as well. But again, she is forced to feel differently about him because they go through so much together that it naturally evolves. And their relationship again drastically changes. Like Nissa just drastically changes as a person. Maybe not even changes, but she's forced to bring out, who she really is, and her relationship with Seg becomes a lot more genuine and a lot more from the heart. Yeah, it's really interesting, that relationship.
So with playing a new character, there's all kinds of fun little liberties you can take with it and build it, make it your own. What was one of the parts you found that was your favorite thing to bring to this character?
Yeah, I think humor. I think that was the big thing. Was even when I got my sides for my screen test, my first screen test for David Goyer, this scene was like, it could have been played very earnestly and very seriously and with a lot of gravitas, but I thought, this guy's a little bit more Han Solo. This guy's a little bit more fun. I can have some fun with this. And I went in there, and I think I was probably the first person to make them laugh. And I thought that's what it is. And I think it's the element of fun. This cast is wonderful. I love every member of this cast, and it's a really, really funny set to be on. I laugh hard every day, and I think that's the thing that we love bringing to it, is that yes, this is an epic space adventure, and the stakes are really high, and they're grounded in the personal stakes of the characters, and there is tragedy, and it does deal with heavy themes, but it's fun. This is Superman. This is science fiction. We're here to have a good time. We want people to be on the edge of their seats. It's a thrill ride. So I think in terms of the thing that wasn't initially there when we got there and what we brought to it, I think humor.
What were some of the challenges you faced bringing this character to life?
I think same as any actor when you get a big role. This is my first real big job. I started out in London in theatre and indie film and in British costume drama and stuff like that. So this was my first big American job, massive part, the lead, playing Superman's granddad. And very understandably, first week of filming, like any actor would, I'm like, I can't do this. I'm not the guy. I'm freaking out. I get on the phone with my girlfriend and I say, I suck. I'm a fraud. Everyone's going to find out. I'm going to ruin Superman for everyone. And she just said, but you love this. You love acting. And I was like, oh yeah, I do. That's, phew. And that was the thing, is like, I remembered why I'd do it. And I think that's the thing, is just staying grounded and remembering your job and just doing your job. That's the big thing. Stay grounded, yeah.
I find it interesting, Superman, like being an American, Superman is always, truth, justice, the American way, such a American hero, but you're British, right? Like,
Yes, I am, yes.
I mean, does he resonate the same way among out there? Like, what's kind of is there a different attitude with Superman overseas?
I mean, Superman belongs to the world, right?
Yeah.
And I think, yes, he's an American character, grew up in the heartland, grew up in Kansas, and the thing is, the American way, though, it's why America, through our history, has been such an interesting country as well, is that Superman is the ultimate immigrant story. He came from elsewhere, he came to America, and he had all of these amazing abilities, and he grew up here and he decided to give back. That's the ultimate American story, the American tale. And the American way, yeah, it's the American dream and all that sort of stuff, but all of those themes are universal: freedom, unity, humanism, the great things we achieve when we work together. So yeah, even though it's American, those themes resonate no matter where you are in the world. It's why it's such an undying character.
What do you love most about playing here?
Gosh, I think I feel really lucky to be a character within the DC universe who isn't a traditional superhero. I'm not putting on a costume and fighting crime. There is no black and white in this world. It's shades of grey. Even the villains believe they're doing the right thing, and the heroes lose a lot. And I think it's really interesting to be able to play in a world that's paying tribute to all the amazing interpretations of the character that have come before, of the character of Superman, but also it's forging its own path. It's forging its own way forward. And this is a character who hasn't really been explored before, and that is a really great opportunity for me, I think.
Every actor has a favorite scene or something that they've done in their shows. Is there one that stands out to you as your favorite episode or thing that you've done?
Gosh. Oh, man. Yes, absolutely, and I can't reveal it. You're going to know it when you see it. Because the thing is, and I've said this a couple times, this is not the show you think it is. It takes a massive twist. This show is far more ambitious and bold and wonderful than people could possibly imagine. No one has predicted how the show is going to end because it's crazy. But there is a moment, and I will tweet it. There's a draft on my Twitter right now, at the Cameron Cuff, give me a follow. There's a draft on my Twitter right now that just says, "I told you so." And after a certain episode, after a certain scene, I will post it. And that is how you will know. Yeah.